All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the mainstream gaming journalists doing exactly what the accused YouTubers are doing, which is drumming up drama against video games that people are playing and enjoying simply because they can. The gaming journalists are now trying to utilize allegations that were made against the original Oblivion's composer all the way back in 2019 at the height of Me Too. They decided to re-up this drama because they want to bring down this game for some reason. They made an article here on PC Gamer with a headline that says, by choosing not to replace Oblivion Remastered's soundtrack, Bethesda made the allegations against composer Jeremy Soule everyone else's problem. How did they do that? I have no idea. According to the journalist, it is now our problem to deal with the allegations made against this composer all the way back in 2019. So let's get into this article, guys, from PC Gamer. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Oblivion Remastered is doing very well. Obviously, Oblivion Remastered obviously has a lot of drama surrounding it because of the body type 1 and 2 nonsense that is currently being debated on over the mod existing or not existing to turn it back to male and female. But that's not the only thing that's surrounding this video game, because these journalists want to bring up the past anytime they get. They're worse than like a woman that got cheated on. Seriously, they want to bring up the past nonstop 24/7, and then they want to claim that everybody else is drama farming. Now they're bringing up apparent allegations that were never proven to be true, from what I can understand. I still was looking, they could never prove it, and then on top of that, they want to try to tie this to Gamergate 1. I'm not even kidding. So it says it's been at least 15 years since I last touched Oblivion, but a few seconds of the triumphant theme reign of the Septums brings me right back to the menu screen I saw so many times on Xbox 360. The gentler, almost aching Harvest Dawn conjures the quieter moments I spent wandering the Imperial City, picking locks in pockets. Those are good memories, but today I have a different association with Oblivion's music. The 2019 allegations of the R-word and sexual misconduct against composer Jeremy Soule, who wrote the music for Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, among many other games. Before Bethesda announced Oblivion Remastered, there was speculation over whether the developer would remix or even fully replace Soule's music as a result of the allegations against him, or due to a conflict with Bethesda over Soule being left out of a Skyrim concert in 2016. But we now know neither happened. The soundtrack is unchanged, just as we remember it. What the hell? Why would... Okay... Oh my god, dude. Why would they change the music for a remaster? That would be so blatantly obvious, number one. And number two, that would not only ruin the entire effect of a remaster, which is essentially supposed to be nostalgia, especially when it comes to music, right? It's very difficult to change the music for a game as legendary as Oblivion and expect people to just not notice or not care. Are you kidding me? Most people probably don't even know about the allegations, to be honest with you. Most people who aren't online all the time probably don't even know. All they know is the music and how epic it was and how amazing it was, and they're going to want to hear that music if they buy a remaster. If they play the remaster and suddenly everything is different, there's going to be a major problem, because that would inherently go against what the word remaster is. So the fact that you even thought that that was going to be a thing is ridiculous, number one. And number two, I find it amazing that you are now trying to do this guilty by association nonsense where you're trying to say, well, because he had allegations, which again, allegations, they haven't been proven. Even in your article, you acknowledge that they haven't been proven. It hasn't even gone to court, nothing whatsoever. They are just allegations at the forefront and at the height of allegations being made all the way back in 2017 to 2019 with the Me Too movement. It's very obvious that this thing hasn't gone to actual court, and yet you're still trying to do the guilty in public opinion kind of thing by saying, well, it's allegations, so it must be true, right? Nobody cares, bro, when it comes to this stuff, because so many people have been caught lying, and unless this stuff goes to court and gets proven to be true, most people are not going to care. That whole believe all women nonsense has pretty much not been a thing for many years now. But in any case, Soule denied the allegations in 2019 in the years since he's almost completely vanished from the internet, scrubbing official sites and social media profiles, and he seemingly hasn't composed a new soundtrack since 2019. Even before 2019, composer Inan Zur had taken the reins as the primary composer for Bethesda's RPGs, working on the Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 4, and Starfield over the last decade. You know what I've noticed, man? These journalists, they're so desperate because they don't really get a lot of wins these days. They don't really get a lot of cancellations successfully these days. So what they're doing is trying to drum up old cancellations and ensure that they stay canceled because they got nothing else to do, right? They got nothing else to talk about. They have no other wins to try to drum up, literally nothing. So they're bringing up somebody's past from 2019 that, again, is allegations, is not proven, and they're trying to do that to ensure that the allegations and the cancellations sticks. They want to make sure it sticks. And it sounds like they're a little bit bitter that the music wasn't replaced. Oblivion wouldn't be the game we remember without Soul's music, though you could argue the same for the shimmery haze of its original lighting or its charmingly ugly NPCs. It could be two things at once, beautiful and tainted by association with its creator. A change may have been hard to get used to, but it hardly would have been unprecedented. Halo 2 Anniversary's re-recorded soundtrack replaced the tracks by Incubus and Breaking Benjamin with new compositions, though they were untouched if you switch from the updated to original graphics. Until Dawn's well, that's because of licensing. That's because of licensing, most likely. That has nothing to do with any kind of drama or anything like that. That was like an actual legal precedent where they had to change it. Until Dawn's remake, released just 9 years after the original, included an entirely new soundtrack. Yeah, and guess what? It flopped. It flopped because people were saying it doesn't look the same. It doesn't sound the same. It flopped. Why would anybody want to follow that, method of success? I can't believe these people, bro. My brain is like unbelievably fried listening to these journalists find every little excuse they possibly can to try to get people canceled. It really is ridiculous. Indie classic Cave Story has had its music remixed and recomposed twice in the last 20 years, and fans are split on their favorite version. Exactly. Why would you want to split your fan base? If you don't have to split your fan base, don't split your fan base. You are literally, oh my God, you are proving why it would have been a bad idea to change the music. You are proving it in this article, and yet you're like, well, it's not a big deal. It wouldn't have been something unprecedented. No, Oblivion is known for its music as much as it's known for anything else in the game. If you're going to remaster the game, you're going to leave it the way it is as much as humanly possible. For me, at least Oblivion Remastered is just another entry in a list of problematic art I once loved. Ammo for the Eternals separate the art from the artist debate alongside the likes of Neil Gaiman. Is debate even the right word? I think cop-out might be more appropriate. Wow. So this person must have did like nothing wrong in their life. They're just moral grandstanding on literally everybody at this point. What a fucking joke. So in this article, they linked the 2019 allegations, right? And it goes back to a PC Gamer article from 2019 saying multiple men in the games industry are being accused of the abuse or assault, and they decide to tie it to Gamergate, which is hilarious, by the way, because they end up mentioning Zoe Quinn. When they mention Zoe Quinn, they talk about right here that since the blog post was published, other members of the industry have come forward and spoken publicly about alleged abusers. Goddess Mode writer Zoe Quinn tweeted out a post that accused Night in the Woods developer Alec Holowka of abuse, explaining that reading Lawhead's posts inspired them to share something they've been silent about for almost their entire career. Yeah, Zoe Quinn, this woman, after accusing this man who said that it was not true, this man suffered so much depression that he ended up offing himself. And that's what really ended Gamergate 1, or put it on hiatus, because Zoe Quinn, essentially, how it seems anyway, accused this man, and that resulted in his death, which a lot of people know of. So you're really tying this shit to Gamergate, to people like this, disgusting people like this, who once this man offed himself, decided to just go into hiding, only to show her face, what, like a year or so ago, not even a little under, they came back, her and Anita Sarkeesian came back for whatever reason. It's so insane, man. So again, these journalists, these people are the ones that are doing the rage baiting. These people are the ones who are deciding that they're going to try to drum up drama in order to try to bring down the overall success and tone of this video game. Everybody's playing Oblivion Remastered for the most part and loving it, that actually picked it up and played it, and they're trying to pretend as if this should be stained now because of allegations that were never proven to be true. It's unbelievably ridiculous at the end of the day, and they know exactly what they're doing. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.